Have you ever wondered what goes into a pair of dangly handmade earrings? Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm the hands by K Mayfield Designs. I'm an educator, scientist, researcher, artist, jewelry maker, urban homesteader. But today, in this moment, I'm showing up as dangly earring maker. So, what I am gonna show are these earrings that I made at my last show. So this was not quite a month ago, and there's always some downtime, So, and I tend to always bring my tools in case I make a pair. One of the last pair I sold in my show was a pair that I made while I was waiting for people to come. So you never know. And I knew I had some things to finish. So it's a good way to be busy and not just, sit there waiting with empty hands and bated breath for people to come by your table or your stand. So it works for me. So I'm going to show you some of the tools I used to make dangly brass earrings. So this is a hammer, glasses, Sharpie will come in there later. These cleansing pads, and it's a steel block that I hammer on. These are some of the pliers that I use. There's a long nose one. You'll see those later. That's the block, a little bit closer up. Steel block, heavy as I don't know what. That is a ball peen hammer that I use for texture, and another bigger hammer. I love these wubbers. That's the actual name. They're longer pliers. That is a metal cutter or shearer. And yeah, an emery board, because an emery board is sandpaper, and you use sandpaper to polish your stuff and to soften the sharp edges. And that's that number, those numbers on it, that 100, that 180. That's the grit for sandpaper. This is my Dremel. I've had it for probably about 20 something years. My dad got me. I use that to not just to soften or polish, but to round out some of the edges. So this thing right here, I really like. This is a Euro tool, and you'll see me use it. You punch holes in metal, not all metal, but metal of a decent thickness, and it has different sizes that you can choose from. This is a strip of brass, and under that is some obsidian, hemalite, citrine, some other gemstones. This right here, of course, is, I was about to say gimbal, but that's not what it is. This is, what's this thing called? This is, what's this thing called? That's the thing that I attach my camera to that I just found that I got for Christmas that I lost. All right, so I brought these. These are already hammered. These are just small, really pretty, frankly. Hammered brass stations is what they're called. And so you see those dots? Those are the dots that I made with the Sharpie. And that's where I want to put the holes for to make them. So the top is where the ear wire goes, and the bottom, each one of those holes is where I'm going to attach a dangly bit. So in this case, a dangly gemstone. So in this case, this was garnet on gold filled wire, which is gold around brass, and try to get them equidistant. So this is me trying to trying to do it equidistant, and even if it's not perfect, once you put them together, and put all the pieces to it, it really doesn't matter, or you can't see it. So I use the 1/16th. So if you remember your ruler, it's 1/16. So that's the size of the circle that I made in the brass. And it's really a perfect circle. And that's the first one. And I think somewhere in here, hopefully I do, I'll show you what that circle, when it's punched out, what it looks like. It is an absolute perfect circle. So this is what it looks like with all four of them punched out. So it's not a perfect line, but it's harder to do with this punch, because if you look here, um, it's harder to see. Now, a drill would be better, but again, I was out at a market, so I'm not bringing my drill to the market when I'm at a table. But you see those perfect little dots? Those are the pieces of brass that I punched out of that little brass earring piece. And they're a perfect circle. So one thing I'm doing is just kind of collecting them and seeing if I could put them on some sterling silver or something. So those are the parts where the ear wire is going to attach. And look at that little perfect circle. That is utterly perfect. Look at that. So cool. So freaking small too, but really, really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. So in this spot, so this is them finished and all holes poked into them. Also removed all the pencil and the marker so I can go ahead and start adding the dangly. So these are garnet. And I love the color of garnet. I think garnet is probably one of my favorites. And what you see me doing here is that I have it on the gold filled wire, and I do this before I start to wind them around and to put a little stopper on it, because sometimes with the small beads, just because it comes on a string, that does not mean it's going to fit your wire. So sometimes you end up with beads with gemstones that you can't use because they don't fit your wire. So I did one. That's what's in my hand on the right side. So that's the first one. And it's not impossible. It was really hard to actually like video me wrapping it. But you see, this is a little, I made an end so it doesn't fall off the end piece of wire. And then I made a circle so that I could put it through that hole. And these are the bottom of them finished. There's some small beads. Wow. Wow. I hope, well, I'm not going to talk about that. Never mind. I'm not going to talk about it. But I did it over and over again. So there's 4 on each side. And this is them finished. And then I added the ear wires to them on the top and gave them a nice polish. And I listed on my website, which is also linked below. And did you know that garnet is also one of the gemstones for January? I really like these. I already have, they're not this small and they're different size and texture. And these are smaller than the other garnet ones I have. I might need to, basically what I'm saying is I might need to make myself a pair. I wonder what it would look like in sterling silver. These are pretty. I'm proud.